Tired of feeling stuck, unseen, or like your body isn't yours anymore? It's time for a reset. Welcome to An Ageless Life, the midlife reset show, where science, movement, and mindset help you feel strong, energized, and like yourself. I'm Devi, a clinical pharmacist, Argentine tango dancer and instructor, and your guide for redefining how women thrive and grow in midlife and beyond. Let's get started. Welcome to the Midlife Reset Show. And this week, I have as a guest Juli Ann, and we have been chatting about some of the interesting aspects of being a midlife person. But I want to tell you a little bit more about Juli. She is an author. She does a lot with helping people write their books and get their voices out there. And I believe she's also got something that she's doing with some skincare stuff too. So we have a wide variety of things that we'll talk about. So I'm going to let Juli kind of guide the initial discussion as to what she would like to chat about first, and then we'll just see where it goes from there.
Thank you, Diana. And it's been beautiful spending time with you because I was very inspired when you told me your age. I had this idea that Diana was like 10 years younger than me, and it turns out she's 10 years older than me. So so that was just like I was like, wow. So I felt very inspired by what you're doing and helping women feel like they're ageless. And yes, I have been a book publisher for 15 years. I'm now based in Mexico, and I invite people to come and spend a week with me and really explore their life, because I feel like this time of our lives is when we really get to start to understand the significance of all the stories, everything that's happened in our life, all of the trauma, all of the things that have happened. They all mean something, and they've all been pointing to this time where we get to really understand our true life purpose. And so that's what I've now stepped into. My publishing company's now become the House of Story Medicine, where we're using stories as medicine to empower ourselves, but also other people. And I have been, you mentioned the skincare, but that's just something I just discovered because as I turned 60, I started to kind of look at my skin, and everybody in Mexico is talking about Botox and or procedures and things because, in Mexico it's quite cheap. And I'm thinking, I don't want to do that. I'd like to find some product which is just completely natural, and I can put it on my body to empower my body. So just as you have said, Diana, about what we put in our body, what we eat,
Yeah.
and the exercise that we do will influence how we age. Well, the same thing for your skin. So I'm just figuring out if I can find the right thing, something that's completely natural, and it's going to feed my skin and it's going to pump it with all those things that we don't produce anymore at the age of 60. So I've been on a bit of a mission, and I found it. I found it. So it just came like 3 days ago, and I just started
Ooh.
to use it, and I am really amazed by it. So I'm very happy to share that information as well.
So so we have two missions. One is the book.
Yes.
I want to talk a lot about that because I know a lot of people that say, I feel like I have a book in me, but I don't know what to do about it. Or
Hmm.
it's like, I've thought about it before. I would kind of like to, I don't know how to. And then the whole thing, obviously, skincare, because skin is one of the largest organs in your body. And it absorbs stuff. So what you put on it is many times the same as if you eat it. So um,
Mm.
minus
Yes.
the great taste. But
Yes.
so you do a week-long retreat.
Yes.
And so talk a little bit about that, if you would, because can you come and just have an idea? Do you need to have an idea? Do you just show up and say, hey, this is what it is and help me figure out? Or how does that process work?
Yes, absolutely. Well, you see, and that's the part that I absolutely love doing is holding the space where people get to explore their stories because there are some people that have got particular ideas about what they want their book to be about. And those people tend to be those that have said, well, I've had this experience and I overcome it. And so now I'd like to help somebody else through the knowledge that I had from that experience. And then there's those that just say, I've had so many experiences in my life, and I feel like I have a lot of wisdom that I can share, but I don't know where to start. And I've just got all of these ideas, and I've got, so many things that have happened to me. So both of those situations, I just absolutely love helping people explore. So I take them through a process that I've been doing for 15 years, actually. And it's called soul mapping. So it is, some people have familiar with the term mind mapping, where we take ideas and we kind of put them in circles and then we put like little spider legs and we keep letting the idea, you know, move along until you end up with lots of little bubbles and spiders, right? Well, soul mapping is a very similar process, but we're asking the really deep questions like, what things have happened in my life that have made me who I am today, for example, or what experiences helped me to understand who I am, or what events have influenced how I am in the world, or what what traumatic events might have happened to me that I can help somebody else who is going through a similar traumatic event. So really, it's all to do with questions, and so I'm kind of looking into the soul, and then I'm asking questions, and those questions then help that person to really explore their life and all the things that have happened in their life, and then I help them to understand who can you help the most. So it's really about being of service. It's not about writing your story for you. It's more about writing your story to be of service to other people. And yeah, when people kind of look at their story in that way, it comes from a whole different place.
Right.
So, even some people that may have ideas of what they think their book is going to be about, when they come and spend a week with me, they end up looking at their story in a whole different way. And usually they get very excited about that because it's like, oh, I hadn't thought of sharing that, but now I understand how much I can help other people. I'm excited about sharing that.
And so is this a one-on-one? Is this a group? How does that part work?
My favorite way is one-on-one. So you literally come and live with me. So I live in an area that has, it's like a little complex, if you like, and it's got six little cottages, six little casitas. I live in one of the casitas, and then there's six other casitas that are rented individually. So you can come and basically come as if you were going to come on vacation in Mexico. And then every day we meet and we go by the pool or we go for a walk on the beach or we go for a walk in the jungle. And we talk about life and that's what we do. And I do also do small groups. And so I have a small group on November the 8th, which is not that far away. I think it's only about 2 weeks away. And that's where two or three people, maximum four people, come together as a small group. But it's still the same premise that you have your own little casita, and every day you're just talking about your life like you would with your best friend.
Nice. Yeah. Well, and I think there's a lot to be said of pulling people out of their element and putting them in someplace else because
Yes.
You're not worried about, phone calls or emails or any of those kinds of things. You're just kind of in this space that you've created. That sounds amazing.
Yes, it's life-changing, really, because you get to really explore your life in a way that you've never done before. I mean, who gets to spend a whole week just talking about their life?
No, I have never done that.
It's life-changing, believe me.
I can imagine it probably is. And so during this week, just so I make sure that I understand and that our audience does, during this week, that's kind of where they get the concept or the idea of what it is, and they know the purpose of why they're writing this. Have they actually written any of it yet?
Mhm. Yes. So once we really explore and understand what are the major things that have happened in your life that you want to write about? So, what are those life experiences that now you can share with other people with view to helping them? Once we've kind of plotted all those out, we then put all of those experiences into like an arc of the book. So usually it's like 10 chapters. So I would divide that into 10 chapters. And then for each chapter, there would be probably five main kind of speaking points or writing points for each chapter. So what you end up with is basically an assignment, which is 50 writing assignments, right?
Gotcha.
And for most people, they like to get started whilst they're here. And it really depends on how much writing they want to do whilst they're in this space. For most people, they like to do maybe, 2 to 4 pages when they get up in the morning. And then maybe in the afternoon, they want to write a few more pages. And then maybe after they've relaxed at nighttime, after dinner, they want to do a few more pages. So, if you are open to that level of writing, you could basically write one chapter a day, right? Think about it. 5 writing assignments, and each of those writing assignments is only like two to 3 pages. So if you're ready to do that and write, that 2 to 3 pages, but you know exactly what you're going to write. It's not like you have to sort of sit down and go, oh, now what is it that I'm going to write about, and how do I get started? You've got a very definite topic, and you know exactly what you're going to write. And so it's very easy for somebody to sit down and write 2 to 3 pages. It's a bit like me saying, oh, Diana, what would you recommend people would do if they want to get back to dancing, for example, right? And then
Right.
you'd be like, oh, yeah, I can write 3 pages on that, right? So it's a
Yep.
very definite assignment. So you have 5 assignments for each chapter and about 10 chapters. So effectively, you could write the first draft of your book in 10 days.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
big.
Right.
Yep. And
Yeah.
so then what happens to it?
So I'm a book publisher. So then we just take that through the book publishing process, right? And I guess this is where I've really changed things. Where for some people that's enough. For some people
Yeah.
they don't need to write a book. They've just been through that healing process and they're really happy with that process because it's given them a lot of answers. For other people, they say, wow, I've done so much writing, I might as well go forward and actually publish the book,
Yeah.
right? So for those people, we then kind of go to the next stage, which is a publishing agreement where I take them through, editing processes, design processes, and then, of course, like the marketing, which is really connected to what is now how they're going to be of service to other people. So, if you think about maybe where you were in your life, maybe 15 years ago, and you were at that point where you were saying, I really want to help people that are in midlife,
Right.
then you may have come to one of those weeks and then you would have plotted out everything that you wanted to do to help people. And then you may have gone ahead and wrote the book. And then from that, you would then produce your podcast, your coaching business, your website. So you kind of created all the content And now you can actually use all of that um, for to actually create a business and to live into your passion.
So it sounds like you can use that retreat as a blueprint for your business. I mean, even
Oh,
if you decide that you don't want to write the book, but you still got all the information and you have all the flow and you know what you're going to do and you know
yeah.
why you're doing it. Uh,
Yes. Yeah, and it might be that, that becomes, instead of writing a book, it might become 10 podcast episodes, for example, right? And you can turn all that writing that you did, each chapter is turned into a podcast episode. And it could be a solo show where you're educating people, with a podcast. Or it could be that you create like a membership site or a network where you want to bring together women and you want to educate them about these things. And so now you've got like 50 pieces of information that you can repurpose into webinars, or you can or ebooks, or little 1 hour coaching sessions. It's once you've got the content, the raw content down, there's so many things that you can do to repurpose that content.
well, I like the fact that you said that some people do it just because they want to know about who they are and why they're here.
Yes.
And I think it's one of those things that is can almost be a course correction or a validation of yes, you're on the right path because most of us go through and like, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? Or maybe I'm supposed to be, or whatever, should I do that? That whole questioning kind of thing that happens
Yes.
really helps give people the guidance that they need as far as that goes.
Yes, and it's definitely a midlife thing. I just,
Yeah.
I don't think I have worked with anybody who's under 40, because you need to have lived those experiences to now know how you can help other people through the experiences that you've had. So, I mean, it's very much aligned with the people that you're helping as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of women, for example, that are empty nesters. So, their children have now left, they've gone to university, or they've started their own careers, and now the woman is saying, okay, now me. What is it that I can do? So, that's a really good example of the kind of person that would really benefit from a 1 week retreat.
Well, and I talk to women who are they're really questioning. I mean, they may be empty nesters, they may be divorced or going through divorce, they may not be, but are really starting to question, is the role that I'm in, is the career that I'm in the right one? Because I don't seem to be getting the joy from it that I did before, or my needs are different, or, something along those lines. So I think even as a reassessment point, or really being, it's kind of like I'm still asking, what am I going to do when I grow up? Because it changes, right?
Yes, of course. It
And
changes with our experiences, right? And
exactly.
for example, I'm helping this lady who she is very high up in the finance world. She's the director of finance for a major investment company, but she has just been through a stage 4 breast cancer. And what that has done is really helped her to reevaluate her whole life, and the purpose of life. And you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have your health, then what
Doesn't
is it?
matter.
And so her book is about her breast cancer journey, but it's so much more than that, because it's helping other women to re-examine their life and say, you might get breast cancer and you may die, and you've not lived out your life purpose. And
Yeah.
so maybe you should be exploring this and exploring your life before something like this happens, and it's taken away from you. So, there's a lot of women that they come to see me in Mexico at that point, because they're like, is this going to be me for the rest of my life? Or should I
Yeah.
be really looking at this and going, I think there might be something else?
I'd like to make a different choice, right?
Yes,
I'd like
yes.
something more to, and that sense of it's time for me now, after decades of giving and all of those kinds of things, to really figure out what it is that you want. So
Hmm.
um, I want to jump topics a little bit, and I want to talk
Hmm.
about the skin stuff because I think that people have a really good understanding now about what it means to write the book and what it means as far as, and it can be your own personal journey. It can be
Hmm.
something about what am I going to be when I grow up? And it it exists in and of itself and has value and doesn't mean it has to be used for something else. That's what I think is really cool. There's no pressure or requirement that this is only for people who are going to know. It's about figuring out what your soul and you want in your life.
Yes, it's
That,
about your soul calling.
yeah. So,
Absolutely.
okay. So we've got a few minutes left here, probably about 10, that we can talk about skin because
Okay.
everybody wants to look good. And I know um, because of my background in pharmacy, I've looked at a lot of the ingredients that are in some of these things, and I'm like, no way. I'm
Exactly.
putting that stuff on my skin. I'm not.
Yeah.
And there is not a lot of regulation in the
Hmm.
US. There's more so in Europe and other countries. But so tell us about what you found out and what you're doing.
Right. Well, it's very interesting because the reason I looked into this, Diana, is that I live in Mexico, and here there's a lot of people that come on beauty or health vacations. So
Yeah.
they come here to have Botox or to have, different, facelifts and different procedures. And so it's very common around me, the women that I socialize with, a lot of them are having these procedures. And so I'm looking at my 60-year-old face in the mirror, and I'm like, I really feel unhappy about this situation. And I kept doing this all the time. I was like, what would it be like if you actually, had one of those
Exactly.
procedures
We've all
and you
done
just
that,
did
or this in the mirror, or
oh,
this.
that one, right? They either do this one or they do that one. I'm just like, I'm just going to have to grow old gracefully because I just cannot, like you said, I can't put that on my skin. I'm not interested. I just would not do it. I would only put something in my skin that is really natural and that's actually helping my skin. So this is in my investigation, I heard a lot of people talking about Korean skincare,
Yeah.
and so I looked into a company that's called Riman, which is Riman, and they're out of Korea. And they're actually the number one skincare company in Korea. So they are actually, the population is like 40 million there, and they sell 55 million jars of their moisturizing cream a year, right? So that just that gives you some perspective of it. And it's all based around this very large plant, which is it's got a weird Korean name, boy long or something like that. But it's like one of those giant leaves. It's like a very big leaf. It's like a water plant.
Yeah.
And it grows near the volcanic water of Korea. So there's this ancient volcanic water, which of course is very, very rich in minerals. And so they developed this skincare line, which is basically using this giant plant and the volcanic water. And what it basically does is it feeds the skin, it helps it to start producing its own collagen, and it really moisturizes, really hydrates the skin so much. It's unbelievable. And they also use collagen products. So they do have a marine collagen line as well. So I thought, you know what? I'd seen all these before and after pictures, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to try it because I'm really curious. So 3 days ago, it arrived, and I started using the products, and I was really surprised by the results. And then I thought, I'm going to try the collagen mask. And it's an actual, they call it a melting mask. It's 100% collagen from New Zealand marine collagen. And it literally melts onto your face. So you put this on like a mask, and then you kind of peel off the backing.
Yeah.
Um, and then you kind of spray a booster spray, and it literally sinks into your skin. And it's extraordinary because of course what it does what you would get from this, right? It fills
Lumps it
in
up.
and plumps your skin. And so you end up with, like the lines here on my lip have virtually disappeared. This here is definitely plumped up, significantly. And I did have quite big kind of bag. My eyes were getting starting to get pretty droopy. And so it really lifted this as well. And this is like 3 days. So like,
Nice.
my goodness, what's it going to be like in a month? So I'm very excited about it. And I actually on Facebook, I just posted a picture. Obviously, I've got my Zoom camera here and makeup, so you can't
Yeah.
really tell. But on Facebook, I actually posted a picture of me with no makeup. And honestly, Diana, I have never done that in public. I have never shown my like
Uh,
raw naked face, but I felt so good about my skin. I felt
nice.
like I could do it. So I actually posted a picture of me with no makeup on, after I had the collagen mask, and then the picture of me 3 days before. And I wish I could share it with you, but I don't think I can on the camera. I don't think it would work. But
No.
the difference is it's amazing. So I am literally all about letting people know about this. I'm obviously a book publisher, so I'm not into the whole multi-level selling.
Right.
I just want people to really know about this because I know how it feels to look in the mirror and then sort of kind of go, you know what? I'd really like something to give
Can
my
we,
skin a bit of a
can we like
boost.
reverse this a little bit? Can we do a little something? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, just I mean, just so that you feel better about yourself, right? I mean, I honestly, I was beginning to think, oh dear, do I have to, have I got to think about this? I really don't want to even think about doing surgery or anything like that. But this is, yeah, I'm just helping my body, right? I'm just giving my body what it needs. So I'm
Great.
trying to see if I can share the picture. Um, I don't think I've got it on my screen to be able to share on the screen. I'm not sure if I could get it fast enough
Yeah.
for the time that we've got left. But we can share. I can try and share it, in the show notes as
Yeah.
well.
That would be
Um,
great.
but I don't know. You can't. Can you see this?
No,
No, you can't see it, can you? Because it
it's
just,
too whited out.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, we can put it in the show notes, and you can
Yeah.
see. But I'm very impressed.
So I'm going to jump topics back because I want to kind of close the loop, and because your book thing is obviously something that is a passion for you and helping
Yes.
people find that piece of it. We'll put all your contact information in the show notes. Is there a website or something that you have that you want to direct people to as far as that goes?
Yes, I've actually just made everything really simple and called it. I've done a landing page, which is my podcast show as well. So it's your story is your portal.com.
Great. And again, we'll put that in the show notes that people will have that. So please go check it out. So, is there any one last thought that you want to leave people with, or anything that we haven't covered, or maybe that you want to maybe mention again before we go?
I actually offer a story activation session. So it's a 30-minute discovery session. It's free. And it's to really help you look at your story in a different way. So I can give you the link for that as well. It's a Calendly link, or it's also on the website. Your story is your portal, and it's a story activation session. It's just 30 minutes, and just so that I can give you an example of how you can start to explore your life experiences.
That sounds great. I'll be sure to add that into the show notes so that people have the ability to check that out. It sounds absolutely amazing. So
Thank you, Diana.
please go check it out. So I want to thank you, Juli Ann, for being with me today. This has been fun, and I learned a ton as far as that goes. And we'll see you all at the next episode. Bye for
Thanks so
now.
much. Thank you.
That's it for this reset. Thank you for spending this time with me. If today's episode gave you something to think about, I'd love to have you subscribe so you never miss what's next. And remember to grab your free gift, your midlife superpower, 5 simple power moves to feel like yourself again. The address for this is, or link is, anagelesslife.com/superpower. Thanks again. Bye-bye.